Dark, Ryung, Armani, Zoun, round of 20, Group C. Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, live. 2022, GSL Season 2.
Season 2. What's up, everybody? We're back. And we're going to go to the next match, and I hope it's a little bit more interesting than the one we just saw. That was, I don't know, that was just like watching Dark eat his lunch. Yeah. What that was like.
No, that was a brutal series, Tasteless. I mean, you guys had so many great series while I was gone, and I come back to that.
Yeah. You come back here with your protein spikes and everything, just mucking up the show, Artosis.
I know. It's too bad.
Yeah.
I take full responsibility for Ryung having no chance against Dark.
This is all your fault, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
I hope this is a closer one, but I'll tell you what, I do feel like this is kind of the other big mismatch that we're going to have. I think Armani has a small chance here, but Zoun really is one of these guys that's on the very forefront of, how Protoss works. He's been innovating a lot. He's now, become commonplace in GSL. I remember a little while back where it was like, he's the new guy. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, he's here, and I don't see him going away anytime soon.
Yeah, but Zoun has been, so up and down. Occasionally, he looks like someone that's, maybe top 4 material. And then sometimes he's like, well, look at that. Look at that. It's like he's trying to make a W, Mm-hmm. Except the W's, falling off at the end, which is even sadder.
Yeah.
Hopefully it re-peaks and we just got multiple W's.
If you look on the right, it's like that's the end of the mountains. Yeah. More interesting on the other side. What's going on over there?
That's where the sea is right there.
That's, yeah.
Luckily, Zoun made some islands, so that's great.
Trying to make a Stegosaurus back there. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to start this out on Hardwire, Map 2, 2,000 atmospheres, and Map 3 is Golden Wall. Armani versus Zoun. Zoun certainly being somewhat inconsistent in the past, but I would say overall a better player. Armani has been hustling. He's been struggling for a while now. Is this going to be his breakout group and his breakout GSL? If it is, we're probably going to see it in this match that's starting right now.
I came for war.
Guangdong Freaks, Armani. Alpha X, Zoun.
All right, so before this gets going, well, I mean, it's PVZ. We got to wait for the cybernetics score.
Yeah, we're going to need a little bit of time.
You thought that the additional...
No adepts.
So true. Please. Remember when Legacy of the Void came out? We're like, oh, thank God. We don't have to talk about how we have to wait for the cybernetics score to finish for anything to happen in this matchup.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, we were idiots.
We were fools, Artosis.
Yeah, I know. It's still exactly that. Anyways, you mentioned something.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Nice.
Oh. Excellent. Okay, so anyways, you were actually saying this on the commercial break, Tasteless, and I want to talk about it for a minute. You were mentioning that you were thinking of maybe getting one of these in Korea. If you go to a convenience store. If you go to a convenience store.
Oh, yeah, I did bring this up. I was like, you're just going to make up something that I didn't say. I'm like, well, this is just strange, but yeah, go ahead.
This is just something protein spikes do to you. But yeah, basically, obviously you can go and get a cold drink from the refrigerator. But in Korea, there's also these little things that heat drinks.
Yeah, it's
so
like,
honey
a heated mini fridge.
Yeah, but it's a heated mini fridge, basically.
Yeah, it makes it warm.
Yeah, and that's pretty baller. That's pretty sick. That's a good idea that you have.
I was thinking about buying one of those. Yeah.
Just to keep some heated drinks, and some of the things you can get in there, guys, are like a honey drink, a ginseng drink,
green tea, warm green tea in there.
I think they probably have coffees in there. Sometimes you want a hot drink, not a cold drink, so it makes sense. But what do you call that contraption? Like, the other one is a refrigerator. Is this like an unfrigerator?
Or an anti-refrigerator?
Anti-refrigerator.
Let me look it up.
And if you combine a refrigerator and an anti-refrigerator, then you get
then you have true love.
I was gonna say you get like a lot of power and like you can power a starship or something, but I don't even know what you call that.
Dude,
thing.
I tried to look this up on my phone just now, and the first result it gave me was the Xbox Series X mini fridge.
Oh my god.
Not what I was looking for.
Microsoft really is taking over.
I know.
All right, we have a Void Ray on the way.
Yeah, so this could potentially be a pretty slow game here. We got to see if it's going to be one Void Ray or it's going to be a multitude of Void Rays. But the important thing to note is that basically the Void Ray it keeps you safe against anything too crazy early on, and usually allows you to set up for a pretty easy third base.
By the way, do you think anyone's going to actually start using Hero style PvZ?
You know, I was wondering that. I mean, we've got this matchup now, and it doesn't look like it's going to be that just yet. But, you know, you could open up with something like this and then try to transition into that. It seems like Hero's on to something that the other Protosses haven't figured out. Either that or the other Protosses think it's not good. But I think after seeing his performance earlier on last week, it's undeniable that this seems to be the way that Protoss should go. Well, it's a more active, aggressive style that allows you to grow and really puts the burden on the Zerg to figure it out. Where so much of what this game has become lately is the Zerg kind of running away with the game while the Terrans or Protosses try to stop them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's not forget Hero was using it last season, and it seems like it took him a while to really perfect it, and it looks ridiculously good. But it's just kind of funny to see other Protosses not try it yet. Although, to be fair, Zoun is a very technical Protoss player. This is a guy that really likes high-tech units, flying units, disruptors, things like that. So I wouldn't be as surprised with him not doing it, but I was surprised to see Zest kind of leave it on the floor when it seems like a style that would suit him well.
Yeah.
Leave it on the table. Floor. Oh my God.
Leave it on the floor.
Leave it right on the floor.
Leave it right on top of his fridge. I'm like, what are we doing? So the Robo's going to come here. Basically, Protoss just going to very quietly tech up. And honestly, dude, this is just not going to be like that Hero style at all. I mean, it's going to be one of these games where the Protoss is trying to power up, get a very strong air fleet here, and then try to punish the Zerg. And I don't know what your thoughts are on this, Artosis, but I've always felt like there's something kind of wrong with this play. Like, I get the ideas behind it. It just seems like the Zerg plays correctly. They should overcome it.
Oh, are you talking about Sky Toss specifically?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that what Sky Toss does is it invites a lot of opportunities for Zerg to screw up. Because Zergs don't like to play against it, and it can be really cost efficient. So if they screw up, they're in big trouble. And it's extremely easy to do for Protoss. It is not hard to make Void Rays and sit there and then go carrier. But that's not exactly what Zoun is doing this time, actually. This is almost, it feels to me like he is, he's being rather tricky, because he started +1 air attacks rather quickly, but he only got 1 Stargate. And he is making Void Rays out of it, but
yeah,
like,
he's getting charged here as well with the Templar Archive, so I think he's might have tricked Armani and me at the start here, where he's actually going to be doing something a little bit different. You know, one thing about going for the Void Rays early on is it kind of seals off intel from the Zerg, right? So the Zerg has to anticipate, you know, a lot of different things. And in the past, we've had it where they just kind of make 2 more Stargates, and we've got 3 Stargates pumping. Void Rays, sometimes carriers, sometimes even later on in the game, Tempests.
Yeah.
But in fact, there's going to be a gateway timing embedded inside of the build.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. I mean, +1 and charge on the way. But look, he adds 2 Stargates behind this. So this is like, this almost feels like a triple trick, right? He makes it look like it's some sort of Sky Toss. And he should be hitting a massive Zealot attack.
With disruptors.
Honestly, he hasn't made that many. Well, the Disruptor Zealot doesn't pair well. I almost feel like the Disruptors are defensive. But he hasn't really made the Zealot, so maybe he doesn't do the attack. I don't know. I don't know. But
I thought it was coming too,
home,
but a 4th base is coming, so it wouldn't make any sense for him to attack out now.
Yeah, the buildings do force a little cancel there, kind of nice. Oh, Nidus Swarm on the way. Well, this is exactly the type of situation where you need those disruptors, right? A couple drop lords as well, so it looks like he's drop lords plus Nidus.
Well, I think when Armani sees Zoun trying to grow even more, this is going to trigger an attack on a lot of different fronts, and so we basically have to see if Zoun's going to be ready, because Armani's going to be hitting him pretty hard here.
So 8 queens are in drop lords.
Yeah.
And then he has like Ling Hydra coming through the center. He's making roaches, and he has a Nidus finishing.
Oh, I think he's going to have the Nidus come where the queens drop.
You might be right.
So a lot of times the Nidus finishes, and then the queens come out of the Nidus, transfuse it, and it kind of snowballs the fight. Instead, I think it's going to be like queens first, and then the Nidus, so that it can't be killed off at all.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he just jumps into the main like that. Like, he's drawing all the units here, all the attention here to this Hydra Roach.
A lot more roaches are being made here. And there it is. The Nidus has started. Zealots are going to be shredding up the workers over here at this base.
Yeah, this is kind of fascinating. Like, the Zealots are doing a good job there, but this is going to be really annoying to clean up.
Yeah.
All of his disruptors are outside. Like, if you had 2 disruptors in there, you could have blown this up pretty quickly, but as is, pretty tough.
Yeah, and I don't know that Zoun can protect. Oh my God! Wow, big connects over there.
That was silly.
Multitasking quite a bit. Yeah, the Zealots really can't do that much against this, it looks like. Unpowering so many buildings.
Oh boy. So this is, like, he hasn't actually done that much damage with this yet. Right? It looks really scary.
Well, he's destroyed a lot of infrastructure here.
Yeah, he's killed some of the buildings on the edge and unpowered some, but, like, this can still be cleaned well. Like, look, he's still got all his disruptors.
It's going to depend on these disruptor shots.
Ooh.
Pretty nasty shot right there. We need to get some more transfuses down
He
here.
really needs another one there.
Here
and we should kill that Nidus that's behind him. I feel like he should just turn around and kill that.
Well, he's sending more out of here. And, if he can just bum rush the disruptors, I think he's going to be fine. Big connects over there. The thing is, the last Void Rays picked off, and this is, there's a second Nidus over here. That was confusing.
Yeah. I think he needed to target that down quickly, because that was how he's losing disruptors now, right?
Well, yeah, then he can just come right up to the disruptors and damage them. It is like basically just 2 disruptors left over as the last Archon's picked off. A couple of Zealots here and there. I think he's basically going to strong arm him here, and I think this game is over.
Yeah, he almost defended the main here, but not quite. He is going to lose the entire main, which now we're getting up to the type of damage where I don't know how you're supposed to come back here.
Yeah, he's got at least 6 gateways because he's still warping in. But, I mean, this is a brutal amount of damage. And keep in mind, all the Stargate units are gone, which is really kind of what was ensuring that you couldn't be overpowered here. He's going to hit this pylon. You're not going to have any more, or at least you're going to have less warp hits, I should say.
Oh, boy. Yeah, the overcharge unpowered.
Armani, all right. Boy, was I wrong. That was real domination there from...
His strat to get it into the main base, like...
I don't know why we don't see that more often, to be honest. It makes a lot of sense.
Well, against Charge specifically, it did really well. The Zealots were all bottlenecked and couldn't do anything, and all the Disruptors were out front. It would have been much better if we reversed that. If all the Zealots were out front and the Disruptors went towards the main, maybe he holds that really quick because it's so clumped up, the Disruptors can get sick value, right?
Could be. I'm not sure. It's just kind of an odd game there. Again, Zoun seems to be like these other Protosses, just sticking to the older style. And, I don't know how well this is going to fare for Zoun or for some of these other guys that are just trying to make old ideas still work. Where Hero seems to be very much so on the cutting edge. And I mean, we already saw Rogue lose here. I mean, if Rogue can lose to it, that means I think anybody in the world can lose to it.
Sure.
Anyways, we're going to go to 2,000 atmospheres, and I'm hoping to see some more novel ideas coming here from Zoun, because right now Armani looking comfortable, looking in control. He's had a lot of bumpy GSLs in the past, but maybe this is going to be his season. Who knows?
Possibly. 2,000 atmospheres. I bet you we see Sky Toss here straight up. Last one looked like Sky Toss, but wasn't.
Go full on Sky Toss this time?
I bet you it goes full on Sky Toss.
All right, well, our game's ready. Let's find out. We're starting now.
Kwangdong Freaks, Armani. Alpha X, Zoun.
It's funny to think about because, you know, our hero was doing his compulsory military service, like all young Korean men have to eventually go through. But we saw him do some stuff like this before he even left.
Well, he's a crazy Protoss, man. Like,
yeah,
he
but
is
then
out there.
then he comes back, and it's like he's got to completely refine, which makes you wonder in the 2-year hiatus that Hero had, if had he not been in the military, could he have just changed the matchup entirely and maybe the trajectory of the entire race?
It's always a possibility.
Yeah.
Like, he is certainly one of the big saviors of Protoss. We used to talk about this a lot. There was like before before the military for him, I would say like a year before, there was this period where it's like, okay, are we in a settled meta? Okay, stats shows everyone how to play. Are we in a fresh meta? Okay, hero shows everyone how to play. And they were really the strategic leaders of the race for quite some time there. I mean, Zest was up there too, and he was
sure.
innovating also. But
Zest had a very different approach, though.
Yeah, a lot of optimization type work. But yeah, it's like, I think that the one thing that I've always liked to say about Hero is when like Protoss is in a bad place, he's the one you have to look at, right? When the standard plays aren't working anymore, he's going to show you what does work. And I mean, we saw him doing it last season. It's way better now. Who knows how long it's been in his mind as something to do. It's beautiful to watch, though, and I want to see more. But when Zest didn't do it, I'm like, I don't know, man, because it feels like he would be the other guy that would be super good at it. Well,
also, I mean, we're at the point in time.
In fact, it feels like he would be better than Hero at it.
Well, it's funny because like we're at the point in time where like everybody's kind of aware of where everybody's at and what they're doing, right? I mean, we're not at the point where like the game's brand new and there's just been this opening, like this flooding of new players here, right? I mean, this is a very seasoned game. And so to see Hero do it and win so well with it, and then to see the other Protosses kind of try old ideas, it's a bit strange.
Yeah. Well, the Adept plays, the Sky Toss plays. You can wiggle them around and, get something partially novel, and that's cool. But I mean, no one's won a GSL with Protoss for a while, Tasis. We need some fresh stuff.
We need some P wins here. Dark Shrine, Artosis.
Yeah, I'm down.
Gonna go for Invisible Men.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, let's see how effective this is going to be here. Keep in mind the Zerg kind of had a disjointed opening here with the second baseman win where the third's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's a very quick Dark Shrine.
Yeah, super fast.
He doesn't have like a probe on the map or anything, so he's going to have to warp those in at home and just walk them across. But that might work. Like, no layer or anything. The thing is, you normally just have a built-in spore timing, right? So we'll probably see a couple spores start.
Well, if he doesn't, man, I mean, it's gonna be good night. There's gonna be a lot of damage done over here.
Yeah.
Is there a pylon hidden on the map? I don't think I see one.
No, there's not.
Now, again, if you spotted a pylon, that would kind of give this away, though. Maybe this is like a very conservative, kind of cheesy move. I know that might sound like an oxymoron, but like you warp them in at home and just kind of slow walk them across the map.
Yeah, that's what we see here.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 are being made, but there are the spores that are, I mean, this is pretty normal to get a couple spores up. The location of those tell me that he actually is suspecting DT.
Yeah.
Those are not Oracle spores.
Yeah, he would have put them in the mineral line if they were Oracle spores. Now, maybe he could try to run past this, run up into the main?
Dude, I think he is completely fine. I think Zoun is in terrible shape here.
Here we go.
Now, if he doesn't lose the DTs, it's still playable. Like, it's not good, but you can go into, like, a mortal DT-based Archon and charge lot.
Oh, that's sick.
That's cute.
Dude!
That was cool.
That was so good.
All right, Armani. That was cool.
Can I shake your hand? That was cool, man.
Yeah. Trap it with your links and just bile it, man.
Yeah.
Who needs detection?
Robo's about to finish here. Along with the Forge, the third Nexus, finishing up.
I'm trying to think of like how much you can use Biles to just like, well, Biles could be anti-air, but you'd have to stack the Ravagers. Like if you could stack them like Mutas, you could use Biles as anti-everything, right? You have like 40 of them in a stack. You can just like make the whole screen Biles. You can't get away from it.
If every pixel is being hit by Biles, then it's pretty good.
Yeah, you can't get away from that, can you?
Now, we've got some more gates finishing, the warp gates coming, and so there's going to be a follow-up push, but let's keep in mind that Protoss did essentially no damage. I mean, a couple Zerglings were killed, which pretty much don't even count. So this is going to be, it's hard to imagine a push working when you've really hiccuped the Zerg. Not at all. You know, the DT's gotten in there and killed off a bunch of drones and queens and slowed everything down. I think it's a different story.
Well, do you think he can... Okay, yeah, I was going to say, like, you can't really attack. I was going to ask, do you think he can actually maybe just go into a more macro-esque gateway-based game? It looks like that's what he's going for, right?
This is enough lings that forces a cancel, too. That's annoying, man. So yeah, I think you're right. He's going to go to that gateway game. Again, it's been... Zoun tripped up a couple times already.
Yeah. But, like, his worker count is really reasonable. He's got Blink. He's going to have Charge. He's got a couple Archons in there. Like, I mean, maybe this is... Maybe he can do it. You know, just based off of the hero games, I'm, like, gaining more respect for gateway units, you know?
Yeah, well, it's funny how originally we looked at gateway units as sort of like this weird filler unit so that you could really get the strong robo units out to do damage.
Well, we were definitely right for 12 years, but maybe it's different now.
All right, he's got to be careful not to lose this War Prism during this, if this is going to be committed at all. Doesn't seem like he can get too far in here, though.
No, that's enough that, like, I think you got to be careful here. You don't want to, like, lose your Prism or anything like that. You don't want to lose those Archons. And the Archons aren't actually doing anything. Fight. Like, just micro the Stalkers, be careful with everything else. But yeah, just keeping him busy like this, I mean, this is a good move. He's got his 4 bases going. His economy's super good. Look at his probe count, man. This is, I want to say that this is a little bit hero-inspired.
Yeah, I think you're 100% on point, Artos, is with the fact that this is pretty hero-inspired. I think he's trying it. The thing is, I don't know if he's doing what he needs to do yet. Keep in mind, the hero play was really just Stalkers and Oracles.
Yeah.
It was just finesse units and not really units that are made to like hold their ground and take a fight.
Like, I think that you wiggle it around a little bit considering like what's going on, right? Like he made more Oracles against the heavier Ling play from Rogue.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously this was like a DT opener, but he's keeping Zealots on one side, he's microing Stalkers on the other, he's got a big economy. Like, he's got more workers than Armani, so that's kind of nice. Now, he is going up towards Disruptors, which, against this unit set, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with the way he's playing it right now, considering the bad opening, you know? Like, I feel like he's giving himself good shots, he's making good decisions, he's microing reasonably well.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of Hydras in this group now.
Yeah.
I feel like if you keep them stuck on Roach Ravager for a long time, sometimes it backfires for the Zerg later on. Like, it's not a great comp.
I mean, the Hydras can be hit by the Disruptors pretty well, too, right?
That is true. I guess I want to see if he can actually push down here and take out a base, because Zerg's now on the offense here.
Well, that's a little bit of Zealot harassment going on. This group going to be pushed back. He's got, like... He has to make sure he's not losing one of his bases. If Zoun loses a base, that is no good.
Well, that's what I'm wondering about right here.
Oh my god, look how many units.
This is such an insane amount of damage, and it's arcing all the way around the army here.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he gets that.
Well, that's a lot of Stalkers. You know what? He's going to hold this Nexus.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
But, you know, the Stalkers are still taking a decent amount of damage. Yeah, it looks like he is going to win that fight. We'll have to try to hold this over where this bottleneck is.
I think that Zoun still has a shot here because he's starting to pop out Disruptors now. So he's playing against Roach, Raptor, Hydra, 68 drones, 4 base. When he is on 4 base, 5th base coming with now Disruptors out. Disruptors plus Gateway units. I actually, even though he's like down in supply and everything, and it was kind of a rough opening, and I think he's done a great job. Like, look at this. The disruptors are just going to be insane now. Look at this. Like, two great disruptor hits to start.
Well, this is not the Army to win that fight, right? And so we're kind of seeing that pattern emerge, Artosis. We have another base for Protoss to the right of this one. There is a counterattack as well here. I feel like Armani's starting to struggle. I think he thought. Oh, I think he thought he could force this issue. He did not.
That was well played, because that was
done.
failed DT, and then he just kind of went blank and kept a little bit of pressure on, got his 4 bases up, and I think he read the situation. When you see that much Roach Ravager Hydra, if he had stayed pure Gateway, I think he gets absorbed.
Yeah.
But Disruptor is such a strong counter against what he was just against. I think that Zoun played that beautifully. I think he played that beautifully. That was a great game out of him.
And so now we're going to have to go to game 3 here. Armani encountering, that strong style. It didn't start out looking like that, but we ended up with that kind of mass stalker approach. Roach Ravager forced, and then you kind of just drag that out into a mass expanding, counter-attacking Protoss. And it pays off. And so we're going to end this on Golden Wall. Now, Golden Wall is a very different map. There is a lot of cheese available, I think, on both sides on this map. So we want to keep that in mind as well.
Yeah.
This may have not a whole lot to do with the current meta and just, about build exploits.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be something insane. The gold bases, I mean, someone's going to take one. Something crazy is going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, our game has loaded up, and we're going to conclude who goes on to face off against Dark in the winners match. Is it Armani or is it Zoun?
Kwangdong Freaks, Armani. Alpha X, Zoun.
We just want to keep our eyes peeled for that possible cheese here.
A little hatchery block here.
He's going to come try to block the hatchery at the... Oh, not bad.
Well, another drone going down to the natural. Just throw it down there.
But that does interrupt the build entirely.
For sure.
This could have been just a 2 hatchery build with a gold base.
Well, I think he was pretending there for a moment.
Young gamers in the audience.
That's right. Beautiful picture.
Excellent.
Love this game. Me too.
So now I gotta wonder exactly.
My daughters have that exact same bunny.
Oh, really? That's so funny. So yeah, it's possible Armani's build order was thrown off. He may have to have kind of like a plan B opening here.
Yeah, I wonder, do you think he was originally planning gold? Because the probe was there, so he just went past towards the third. Probe followed, and then he made his natural.
Question.
So I think when you have an opener, you kind of have to be flexible on that no matter what, because so many people send the probe.
Well, this is like one of the oldest ideas, is the probe blocking the drone from making the hatch.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see where he puts the third hatch down, though. Like, he can just go to the north and play it normal, or, he can try for the gold. And of course the Zoun, like, who knows, man. Sometimes, we've seen some insanity gold-based builds from Protoss. Some SOS level stuff. It's like 40s charge lots, and that's it. Nothing that shoots up, no gas in the bank, no probes mining gas. It's like, oh man.
Okay, so the first adept is going to get sent out here. We do see that Twilight Council coming here as well.
I got to mention this, Tasteless. I think it was a huge loss to StarCraft 2 and SOS retired.
For sure.
Because, like, so many times when we're, like, going really out on a limb on weird stuff, his name just pops up because it's like, yeah, no, he did this thing once.
Yeah.
Almost doesn't make sense, but he's a 2-time champ, so what do you want, man? Like,
yeah, it's true, man. It's too bad he's gone because he really was bending the rules so often. He was also, I think, a great example of just like what can be done in an RTS game if you really understand the ebb and flow of things.
Yeah. He was a special player. I hope he decides to return at some point to some, whether it's Star 1, Star 2, whatever.
I would like him to return in some kind of like WWE style where like it's the GSL finals and we think it's over. And then his hand emerges from the floor.
That would be amazing.
You know, and grabs the ankle of the current GSL champion and pulls him down.
That would be great. Oh, by the way, I don't remember if I told you this or you knew this.
Yeah.
But, you know, Deer?
Yes, heard of him before.
Yeah,
the player.
The Royal Roader, the
yes,
GSL champion.
I'm sure I've casted his game somewhere in my career,
Fantastic player. He is active in StarCraft 1.
Oh, really?
He's pro level. He's playing with all the pros all the time.
Deer.
Oh,
that's so funny.
Isn't that cool?
That is news to me.
So
I had not heard of that.
Any Deer fans out there? My guess is he won't be coming back to StarCraft 2 because he's literally pro StarCraft 1 level right now. Like, well, we'll see if he makes it into ASL.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's see if he does ASL.
He's playing all the big
stuff.
stuff.
Still Protoss then, or did he change races? Okay.
Yeah. Protoss players only play one race. You know this, Diesel.
We don't switch to Terran and Zerg. It is going to be a Depths. That sign, the warning, was not heeded.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Zoun can't help himself.
Yeah.
He needs to go at Depths. Like, it doesn't even matter what race he's against. He's just in a best of 3. He needs a Depths one time with Glaives. Yes. And he is doing a Disruptor follow-up, which is pretty common for him. He is good at this type of play, but is this type of play going to work? Couple spores coming up, roaches being made. I think right now the most important thing is for him to retain these adepts. Like, sometimes you'll look at this and you say, you know what, I can get a few kills here, and like you kill some drones, and you might look at it on paper and be like, yeah, my 6 adepts killed 5 drones and a bunch of lings and then died. And then you don't have enough to actually tank for your big attack with disruptors or something, right? And those types of things are really hard to actually figure out and to call correctly within a game. But if you're going for a build like this, where Zoun is sitting there on 45 probes, he's keeping pressure on. Like, okay, if we're going to expand more, maybe you can sacrifice some adepts. But if you're going to go for a big timing, that's where I get really worried when people are throwing away adepts for harassment damage. Now, third Nexus is coming down at that gold.
Yeah, and so, you know, I don't know that the Zerg is going to be compelled to attack just yet here, but if they do, they need to do it basically before the gold base is really being monetized over here.
Oh, that's a good
lot more
scout,
gates.
isn't it?
Yeah, just goes right by the disruptor.
That lane was kind of killer, man.
Yeah.
I almost wish it ran into the middle of the line and turned into a Baneling. Sits there and waits for +2 melee and blows up the whole line. I'm like, damn, man, that was one good Zergling.
Okay, so we've got more gates coming here. And there should be, on the back of the gold base, a lot of pressure that can be added. And right now, Armani's playing a very, to be honest, for the map, kind of an obtuse style, right? He's not engaging with the gold at all.
Yeah.
Which means he can save that for later, which may be what the plan is to basically take really safe bases and kind of hold off. Remember, the gold base doesn't, I mean, it mines out pretty quickly, I should say. So maybe he wants to just kind of exhaust that and then come back stronger later on.
I mean, it can be a very good base, but, you know, like if you take it as your first expansion, there's like a lot more abuse that can happen. The later you take it, the less impactful that additional income is. Now, though, that's a lot of damage. I don't mind how Zoun is playing this. Like, he's got a pretty solid base of his army. He's got a good amount of disruptors. Armani, like, I think you have to go Hive here. I don't like him sitting there not going Hive.
Well, I feel like he has to just keep teching up, right?
Yeah, it looks like he's adding Spire, so maybe he feels like this is a good opportunity to go Mutalisk. I don't know about that, though.
Oh, this is funny.
Because, yeah, look, disruptors are going to make it so it's really hard to actually get critical mass to fight the Gateway army.
Yeah.
And he can literally just make Stalkers with this, and then the Spire doesn't do anything. Like, I really...
The Mutas are just going to get shot down. I mean, the Stalkers are going to be so high in number, he just obliterates them the moment they get close.
I think like Ling Bane can be a little bit better against something like this, and then also Hive can be good. But what he's doing here, I think Zoun is going to be able to take this, honestly.
Yeah, I think you might be right. This isn't looking that good for Armani here.
Oh, that was a good dodge.
Yeah.
And more Biles coming down. Still, 4 Disruptors are out. See, he's just got so many Gateway units. It's tanking enough that he gets more Disruptor shots. Oh, the Disruptors are so far out in the front, though. Little bit sloppy from Zoun, but he's still okay.
Yeah. He's going to keep trying to push in here. We're starting to see the Roaches and Ravagers thin out a little bit, but as long as they can get these shots to connect, the thing is we still only have 3 Disruptors. Good blink in. Maybe an overextension, though. Another Warp in comes. Now, the Warp Prism is safe. That's another thing you want to watch for in rushes like this, is can they actually keep that going. And, dude, I'm seeing more and more Stalkers here. These Disruptors are going to have another opportunity to fire out again here.
Yeah, Zoun is like a little bit all in, so if Armani can hold, this is definitely a doable game.
Yeah.
It's only 46 probes, no more on the way or anything, but it seems like the back is just about broken now. A lot of whiffed shots. Armani has done a great job dodging. Like, if one more shot hit well, this would already be over. Kind of wild when you think about Disruptors like that, right?
Yeah.
The game would literally already be over. But I think we're close to it being over now anyways.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's just about that.
Yeah, we are going to have Armani going up against Dark here, unless this is stopped. I mean, the armies are both pretty small, but with Stalkers and Disruptors, you can always finesse a fight. GG! Zoun takes it in the best of 3.
Yeah.
Armani is going to fight Ryung in the losers match. But overall, a much more interesting best of 3 than the one we started out with.
I liked this play.
Yeah.
From Zoun. I think that games 2 and 3 were really interesting. Armani with a more forceful strategy in game 1. He had a plan of attack to try to win the game, whereas he played a much more defensive, passive style in games 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Trying to absorb gateway units, and then Zoun punishing that with Disruptor. So I think there's a lot there for Armani to learn from and improve.
All right, guys. Armani is our survivor, but now he's going up against the final boss of Zerg. It's going to be Zoun is going to be Dark. I can't talk. I got to go commercial break. Bye.